Global Weather Report, Major Systems Developing, Jerry, Priscilla, Raymond and the East Coast Storm. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on Global Weather News. It's Friday, October 10th, 2025, and we are tracking a very complicated and active setup across both the Atlantic and Pacific basins. Multiple tropical systems are spinning at once, from Tropical Storm Jerry in the Caribbean to Hurricanes Priscilla and Raymond near Mexico, and a developing coastal storm near the eastern United States that could soon evolve into the first nor'easter of the autumn season. These systems are now interacting with one another, as cold northern air collides with tropical moisture from the south, setting the stage for what could become a multi-day, multi-hazard weather event across the Americas. Tonight, we'll walk you through the current conditions in each region, from the rain-soaked islands of the Caribbean to the powerful winds expected along the U.S. East Coast, and the flood threats unfolding in Mexico and the southwest United States. Wave Section 1 Tropical Storm Jerry, weakening, but heavy rain still a serious threat. After several days of close monitoring, we can now confirm that Tropical Storm Jerry has weakened considerably overnight. Satellite imagery this morning shows the storm's convection becoming increasingly disorganized, with its center now north of Anguilla, Saint Martin, and Saint Bart's, exactly in line with forecasts issued 3 to 4 days ago. The good news is that maximum sustained winds have dropped to around 80 km per hour, and upper-level wind shear is preventing the storm from regaining strength. Despite warm sea surface temperatures, the strong shear aloft is literally tearing away the storm tops, keeping Jerry from developing a solid core. Still, torrential rainfall remains the main concern, especially across the northeastern Caribbean islands. Bands of slow-moving thunderstorms are continuing to sweep through Antigua, Barbuda, St. Kitts, Nevis, Dominica, and parts of Guadeloupe, bringing rainfall totals of 100 to 150 millimeters. That's 4 to 6 inches of rain, enough to trigger flash flooding and landslides in mountainous areas. In some of these rain bands, gusts up to 80 km per hour are possible, enough to bring down small trees or cut power. Farther south, the outer moisture field is reaching Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and Grenada, bringing occasional downpours through tonight and Saturday. Even Trinidad and Tobago could see scattered thunderstorms as Jerry's southern tail drifts through. So while the center of the storm is moving away, the tropical moisture it leaves behind will keep the region unsettled through the weekend. Cyclone Section 2 Jerry's track and outlook. As of this morning, the storm's center has started to turn northward, curving around the edge of the subtropical ridge. This path keeps Jerry well offshore, moving east of Bermuda rather than toward it. That means most land areas will be spared from direct wind damage, though rough surf and residual rain bands may still cause localized flooding. Forecast models unanimously agree that Jerry will continue to weaken over the next 48 hours as it encounters stronger upper-level winds. So while it's still producing squalls and heavy rain, it is no longer expected to intensify into a hurricane. Globe Section 3 Developing East Coast Storm, first nor'easter of the season possible. While Jerry drifts away, attention now turns to the eastern United States, where a new coastal low-pressure system is taking shape. Cold, dry air spilling south from Canada is meeting warm, moist air streaming off the Atlantic, creating the ingredients for a classic nor'easter-type storm, one capable of powerful onshore winds, heavy rainfall, and coastal flooding. From Saturday into Sunday, the storm will strengthen along the coastline, impacting areas from South Carolina and North Carolina northward through Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. Forecasts call for winds gusting between 70 and 100 km per hour, roughly 45 to 60 miles per hour, with wave heights of 3 to 5 meters, 10 to 16 feet. Especially around the Outer Banks, Long Island, and Cape Cod. Storm surge could reach 1 to 2 meters, and rainfall totals between 100 and 200 millimeters, up to 8 inches, could cause flooding in low-lying areas. The National Weather Service has already issued coastal flood watches across the Tidewater and Chesapeake regions, warning that strong easterly winds will push water inland. By late Sunday, the system is expected to lift northeastward, brushing Nova Scotia and New Brunswick early next week before weakening over the colder waters of the North Atlantic. Even as it weakens, strong winds and rough seas could continue to pound the U.S. and Canadian coastlines into Monday. Sun behind rain cloud section for Bahamas, Cuba, and Jamaica. Moisture feeds northward. The southern edge of this coastal storm will drag a deep ribbon of tropical moisture northward, affecting the Bahamas, Cuba, and Jamaica. Across the central and northern Bahamas, rainfall totals of 80 to 100 millimeters are expected over the next 3 days. Eastern Cuba and Jamaica may see 50 to 80 millimeters of rain by Sunday as that moisture plume spreads southward. Haiti and the Dominican Republic will also experience scattered showers and a few thunderstorms, but rainfall amounts there should be lower. Cloud with rain section 5 Priscilla and Raymond. Major flooding threat in Mexico and the southwest U.S. Over in the eastern Pacific, 2 tropical systems, Priscilla and Raymond, remain active. At last check, Raymond had sustained winds near 80 kilometers per hour, tracking along Mexico's southwest coast. The Mexican Meteorological Service has issued tropical storm warnings and flood alerts for coastal states including Guerrero, Oaxaca, Michoacán, and Colima. Rainfall totals of 200 to 300 millimeters, locally higher than 350 millimeters, are expected, raising the risk of flash floods, mudslides, and road washouts in mountainous terrain. Moisture from these systems will continue streaming northward into the United States, where it will combine with an incoming Pacific trough. Arizona, New Mexico, and western Texas could face rounds of heavy rain and urban flash flooding, especially in desert valleys. Even Southern California could pick up isolated downpours, and given how dry the soil has been, even modest rainfall may cause debris flows and localized flooding. Cloud with snow section 6 Canada and northern regions, cold, windy, and snowy. Meanwhile, conditions are dramatically different in the north. An Arctic air mass pushing down from Canada is colliding with Pacific moisture, producing the first significant snowfall of the season across British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. Higher elevations could receive 30 to 60 centimeters of snow, with some mountain peaks seeing more than a meter. As the East Coast system moves northward, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick will see increasing rain and gusty easterly winds Sunday night into Monday. Although the system will weaken by then, persistent onshore flow could still generate coastal flooding and rough surf. Across the Great Lakes and Ontario, another low-pressure area is bringing cloudy skies and light rain, setting up a cool, unsettled Thanksgiving weekend in Canada. Meteorologists emphasize that it won't be a washout, but most areas will experience periods of drizzle and cloudy conditions. Wave section 7 Atlantic outlook, subtropical Karen and new tropical waves. In the central North Atlantic, a short-lived subtropical system named Karen has formed near the Azores, but it is expected to dissipate within a few days as it gets absorbed by cooler air from the north. Meanwhile, a series of tropical waves moving off the west coast of Africa could become the next features to watch later in October. The next name on the Atlantic storm list is Lorenzo, but environmental conditions in the main development region remain unfavorable due to strong vertical wind shear and dry Saharan air. For mariners, rough seas will persist across the western Atlantic this weekend. Swells of 2 to 4 meters and dangerous rip currents are expected from the northern Caribbean through the Bahamas and up the U.S. East Coast. Authorities strongly advise against small craft operations or recreational swimming until early next week. Umbrella with rain drops Section 8 rainfall summary for the Caribbean and Latin America. Here's a closer look at the rainfall forecast. Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Antigua and Barbuda, 100 to 120 millimeters of rain, with landslide potential. Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, 70 to 80 millimeters. Trinidad and Tobago, up to 75 millimeters, mainly over southern Trinidad, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, 40 to 60 millimeters. Panama and Costa Rica, Pacific side, 200 to 250 millimeters. With flash flooding likely. Mexico City, 60 to 70% chance of daily showers and thunderstorms through the weekend. Warning Section 9 Safety and Preparedness. In the coming days, weather across much of the Americas will remain volatile and dangerous. Communities in the Eastern Caribbean should stay alert for flash floods and landslides. Residents along the U.S. East Coast are urged to prepare sandbags, secure loose objects, and avoid coastal travel as high surf and storm surge arrive. In Mexico and the U.S. Southwest, remain watchful for rapidly rising creeks and mountain slope failures. And for all those planning to go to sea, please postpone marine activities until conditions improve early next week. Folded Hands Section 10 Closing Message. As the weather turns unsettled, it's worth remembering that preparation and compassion are our strongest defenses. Check your emergency supplies, stay connected with family, and look out for the elderly or anyone who might need help. Storms may be powerful, but human care and awareness can make a world of difference. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 3. May peace and safety be with you and your loved ones through these stormy days ahead. All glory to God, the Creator of heaven and earth. May He watch over us all. Thank you for joining us on this edition of Global Weather News. If you found this update helpful, please like, subscribe, and share so others can stay informed and prepared. We'll continue to bring you updates through the weekend, and hopefully soon. We'll be talking about clear skies and calm seas once again.